Peter Reddaway. Here he is a British, let's say, agent with some CIA background, etc., sending out a whole group of to a whole group of people, make capitals, right? In April of 2016, he's sending this email out to all of them that's confidential. Why? Because he's bringing in Butinas, right? Butina came in May and so forth. And he's basically sending out a list, right, for people to act as a safe house, right? So here we have an actual one example of that with Kyle Peterson talking about the house for Vetselnitskaya right there. You don't have to go further than the email itself to actually see how the picture puts itself together. Now, knowing Nellie Orr wrote about that and wrote about bringing in students to different universities all across the country to win the state houses as well as national elections, that helps. But you don't really need that beyond these two thumbnails right here. Vetselnitskaya safe house email, and then the general safe house email. Is this just Butina? I don't think so. I think this is the 12, again, going back to the 12 that are brought in according to the indictment. Now, Rosenstein chose to name GRU officers, but I think in actual fact, it's much closer to the 2014 ham sandwich indictment where they brought in the 14 or 12 girls for that. So I think the number is going to be about 12 again. It could be 14, could be 16. We don't know how many Butinas this is going to be. But again, also the negative feedback. Recently, the federal government went out of their way to say that Butina didn't sleep with anyone for sex to try to gain influence. Now, why would they say that even before the trial? Why would they take that from themselves? The government can't even make up their own mind on this because they want to play down the fact that these girls that are coming in are being used in order to compromise different people like Scott Walker in Wisconsin, right? And then you can look at a guy like Kyle Parker and just say he's probably a recruiter. I mean, he spent a lot of time with, in Ukraine, spent a lot of time in Bulgaria, going back and forth, a dozen trips or so to Russia. He's sort of the guy who's getting the talent here, right? That's why he's organizing safe houses for them all, because he knows them all. He wants to be the go-between. He wants to put them in different locations. And you can see here that the new Nellie Orr is sort of Fiona Hill. She has taken the role of Nellie Orr as sort of I guess I would say the sorority mom for all these kids that are coming in and being able to bring them into Washington, D.C. Now, is she coordinating Crossfire Hurricane? We don't really know that yet. But somebody had to coordinate Crossfire Hurricane. We know Nellie Orr got involved in May with this shortwave radio, et cetera, all that. So maybe it's Nellie Orr playing that role. Maybe it's Fiona Hill playing that role. We don't know the answer to that question yet. But here it is. I didn't need those two emails because I sent this email out first, where Nellie Orr wrote a book about how you bring in students from Russia to exfiltrate secrets to Russia. In this case, it's also to do compromise, right? So here's Bob Otto. He's our key go-between to Bob Levison, right? And then as you just go down the different folks, first guy is an inspector for F-16 inspector for Lockheed in Arizona, but also in a state capital, Robert Horvath. There you can see is Five Eyes. Here, Robert Hortung is George Washington University, as well as kind of in this George Washington extended diaspora of folks. And all the folks are basically involved in, Peter Reddaway, I'll get to him in a second, but these folks are involved in Russian studies mainly. And I'm saying these are not going to be weapons brokers or anything like that, but they're going to be hosting the students here, okay? So I'll leave that, but I'll just show you Peter Reddaway here. Peter Reddaway, the person who sent the email out, is a British-American political scientist, historian, but he's associated with the University of Moscow, the London School of Economics, and then there's your Cambridge spy ring again. Of course, Cambridge, England, translates over to the Cambridge spy ring in the United States, which is at Harvard. There's going to be a Nellie Orr connection there. And he's going to have a CIA background in his history. So we don't, or at MI6 or both. That's coming. I'll have more there, but I just wanted to say that this thumbnailing process really does help interpret maybe not just one episode, but put them together. You can see it's basically people being brought in for the election in various state capitals, especially Washington, D.C., to compromise different politicians like Scott Walker and Butinas in Wisconsin.